What's up, guys? In this video, what I thought that we would do is a little bit of a tabletop review as well as a cleaning of my Sig Sauer P365 XL. This gun is one that I have had for a while now, and I thought that I would talk about it, tell you guys what I think about it after using it for as long as I have, as well as demonstrating to you how I would clean this firearm. This is going to be in accordance with YouTube's published guidelines. I'm going to put on the screen here what those currently are. We are not modifying this firearm in any way, but we will just be demonstrating the proper techniques for maintenance. Okay, and then this is in accordance with what they say is allowed on their platform. The P365 XL is a firearm that when it came out in the XL model that I wanted to get. You know, when the 365 originally came out, it was a firearm that I thought had a lot of great potential, but for me, it was too small in my hands. They did have some issues with the early models for various things. They had some firing pin issues and things like that, but they finally got it worked out. And, you know, even after they got it worked out, the original 365, even though with the additional grips and things like that, it was just not right for my hands. I did not like how those guns felt. When Sig came out with the X and the XL models that has the longer grip, that was something that after getting my hands on one, I decided to go with. And of course, the X and the XL, the difference between those is that the X has a slightly shorter slide and barrel, where the XL is slightly longer. You know, the X is going to be the original length of the 365, but with a longer grip. The XL has the longer grip and the longer slide, okay? And it is much more comfortable for me to shoot, much more enjoyable for me to shoot, and still very concealable. And I do carry this firearm on occasion. You know, I do have a few guns that are regulars in my carry rotation, and you can kind of see here some of the wear, some of the just grit that has gotten into this gun. But, you know, I'm going to be cleaning some of that out. Now, step one in the process of cleaning any firearm is that you want to always make sure that it is unloaded. We do not have a magazine in this firearm, and when we open the action, there is no round in the chamber. Now, for the P365 XL, to remove the slide, simply lock the action open, and then you have your takedown lever right here. You will flip that down, rotating at 90 degrees just like that. And of course, once you do that, the slide will come off of the frame just like that. It's a very easy process. Of course, once you have your slide and frame separated, you can go ahead and remove your spring and guide rod. Take note where that spring is setting in relation to the barrel. That way, you know, you make sure that you get it back in the right position. I'll take my thumb and just push in slightly, and I'll cover the slide, the recoil rod, and the spring with my hand slightly. That way it does not get away from me. And just push in slightly and lift up slightly, and it will come right out just like that. Okay, our barrel, I simply take my finger and just press that barrel up a little bit, slide it forward and then back, and it will come out of the firearm just like so. And this is pretty much as far as you need to go to do a basic cleaning of the firearm. Now you can, if you're going to change a grip module, which we're not going to be doing in this video, you can remove the fire control group from the frame, you know, just by removing a pin, and it will come out if you're going to change your module or that sort of thing. Very easy, very modular thing to do. Okay, One thing that I will do typically once I have a firearm down like this, I will begin by taking my solvent, taking the barrel, and simply spraying a good amount of solvent in that barrel. I want to make sure that I get plenty in there. And of course this is just rim oil. Hops works well. There's just whatever flavor you decide to go with. This is just what I go with mine. Okay, it seems to work well. Once I get the barrel soaking, I'll just set it aside, and I'll do the same for the frame. Okay, I'll take a little bit of the solvent, spray on there, let it set. Okay, the slide the same way. Now, one thing I will not do with the slide, I do not want to get any kind of solvent or any oil or anything like that in with the fire control, the firing pin, things like that. I want to try to keep that up away from that. Okay, if you do get anything in here with the firing pin over a period of time, it's going to build up a bunch of gunk in there, and you will get light primer strikes. Okay, so you need to keep that away from there. You know, and if you do start getting light primer strikes, you'll need to take that apart, clean that out. Okay, put some of the solvent on the slide, set it aside just like that, and now of course, after a period of time, after the solvent has had a chance to work, you know, you will come back with some type of a brush or something. I'll use just these nylon brushes, and guys, I'll put links down to some cleaning supplies down below in the description if you guys are needing anything. That way, if you want to help out the channel, you can get you some cleaning supplies, and you know, of course, we do get a bit of commission off of anything that you buy through those links. But taking a brush, again, this is a nylon brush that has a little piece of lint on it that we need to get off, and I'm going to take that brush and I'm going to scrub inside these rails on this slide. You can see there those rails. I'm just going to scrub inside there, and what I will do is I'll take some of that solvent, even though I won't put any back here on the slide. I will use the brush and just kind of pull some of that back, just try to remove some of that grit and things like that off of that slide, and make sure that you get both sides. You know, turn that around, scrub that rail real well. You know, I've had students take my concealed carry class, and they failed to do this on many occasions. Okay, so I'm going to scrub right down in here and just get as much gunk off of this as possible, just like that. Now, something that I want you to pay close attention to is your extractor. Okay, your extractor is located here on the side of the frame, right here. You can see this thing running alongside the slide, and it's just a hook that goes over the casing of the cartridge. And what can happen if you do not clean buildup out from that is you can start having ejection problems. Okay, so keep that extractor clean. Okay, take that brush, get back there behind that, just like so. You can kind of see how that it hooks around right there, you know, and you want to get in there and get any kind of buildup out. Also get that breech face good, get the other side of that, because you will get carbon built up in there. And like I say, you can have some failures to eject if you do not keep that clean. Okay, so scrub in there real well. Make sure that breech face is good. Okay, just anywhere that you see any kind of buildup. Also look over your slide. Look to see if there's any type of cracking, anything where it looks like an abnormal wear pattern, and make sure that it is functioning, to make sure that it's functioning properly, because if you have some kind of an abnormal wear pattern, that could be an indication of another problem and something that you're going to want to get taken care of. Okay, I'm going to take a paper towel, simply wipe that out, and then just kind of wipe the slide down. Okay, just like so. And I always will take some Q-tips, and inside that rail, and this is how you can tell if you got it clean or not. When you run that Q-tip in there, pull it all the way through, and you can see there's not a lot of buildup in there. We're going to go over to the other side, do the same thing. Okay, I have seen guns after they've been shot for a period of time that Q-tip is going to be just black. Okay, that's something that does happen, and you need to get that buildup out of there. I mean, you don't have to white glove them every time when you cleaning them, but if it's a gun that you carry, you definitely want to keep that gun clean, even if you have not shot that gun for a period of time, which I would recommend you do. If you are carrying a firearm, you need to be proficient with that firearm. Okay, so make sure that you are getting regular training with your protective firearm. Okay, just wipe it down. And this gun, of course, does have just the 3-dot, what do they call, X sights or whatever, I don't remember the name of them. And these are a very good sight for what they are. Are there better sights out there? Yes, but these sights that come with the firearm do very well. You know, you can kind of see the sight picture there, you know, and it does do very well for what these are. Okay. Now, after I get the slide done, I will do the same for the frame. Taking my brush, going down the rails, and just brushing any contaminants out of there. Okay, just get it brushed out of there real good on both sides. Just like that. Okay. And get everything built up, get all that buildup out of there. Check to see if you see any kind of abnormal wear. Make sure that nothing is loose. You know, just get it brushed out. Just like that, okay? And of course, you know, we get this on the side here. Take a little something, clean that off as well. I'm just gonna take a little bit of the rim oil, and yeah, this is plastic, but at the same time, as you can tell, a little bit of elbow grease. That buildup that was in there, you can see that it has just come right out, no problem whatsoever. You know, the texturing on this, the grip texturing, is pretty good. You know, I know that you can get different things out there as far as some of the different modules that will have a little bit different grip texturing. I know that Wilson Combat has some different ones out there as well. You know, there's a lot of folks out there that like the Wilson Combat grip modules. You know, I even thought about getting one myself. You can actually get a metal grip module for these as well, but I thought it was pretty interesting. The new macro grip modules are there, and you know, you could change this and put the macro grip module on it and have a 17 round capacity, or you could just get the magazines, and you know, you can get the magazines as well. Okay, but I like this gun as it is. I bought this gun for a specific purpose, and it performs very well in that purpose. You know, depending on how I'm dressed at certain times, I need something that is super concealable, and this gun fits that bill. Okay, now after I get the frame done, the barrel, of course, has had the most time to soak, and the purpose of that is because of all that buildup in there. I mean, that's where the buildup is going to be. You know, you're shooting this gun, that's where you're going to get all of that buildup. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit it again with a little bit of the rim oil, just like that. I'm going to take my brush and run that brush in there, and I like to twist as I'm running it in there. That way it kind of helps to scrub any of those deposits out. You know, and that's something, guys, else that I want to mention too. Don't use any type of a steel brush or anything on your firearms. Use those that are made for firearms. A steel brush is going to damage your firearm. Okay, and you can see here, just like that, all the way through. And you can just run it through, or just, it's up to you. I like to make sure though that I get as much of that buildup out as I possibly can. And we can see there, it's fairly clean. Now you can get one of the patch holders and run patches through yours. Me, typically, what I'll do, I'll just take a patch, lay it over the brush, and then run that brush through there again. It may tear, it may not. Just that one tore, no big deal. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But either way, it's completely up to you. You know, you can use the patch holders, or you can just do this. Me, it's just as easy for me to take one of those, put it over the brush, and then run it through that barrel. Okay, just like that, no problem whatsoever. And you can take you a little bit of oil if you want. You know, I don't recommend leaving the inside of the barrel wet, but you can take a little bit of an oil, which this is just some gun oil, some regular gun oil here, and put on there as well. You know, pull through, get that through there, clean it out. And of course it wanted to come off of there, no big deal. Run it back in. There again, I don't want to leave it wet, but I just want to wipe through there with a little bit of oil. Okay, just like that. Wipe off any excess. And you can see that it's clean. And the thing you want to pay attention to, that feed ramp, you know, make sure that it's not nicked. Make sure that you've got all of the buildup off of it, because you will get some buildup there on that feed ramp. Also, look over your barrel. Make sure that you don't see any kind of cracks or swelling or anything abnormal about it, because if you do, you need to stop using that barrel immediately. Get it replaced. Okay. Also, look around the crown. Look to see if there's any kind of cracking. Make sure that your firearm is safe. Okay. Very simple process. Takes just a minute to do. And once we have everything clean, I like to go over everything, just kind of wipe it down, make sure I didn't miss anything. Look over everything good. And the spring and guide rod. You don't really have to do any kind of lubrication with it, but I'll just take and wipe it down just a little bit, just like that. Now we're ready to reassemble it. Before we do, I'm going to take just some good oil. Now you can use the rim oil. It says that it is for lubrication as well, but if you look at some of the tests and things like that, it does good for cleaning, but I really don't think that it does the best for lubrication. So I will take a gun oil and put some regular oil within a few key spots. It does not take much on these, and I typically tend to put more than I need, but just a drop or so on the rails, just like that. Put it down in the mechanics of it, and I'll put just a little down into the slide, just a drip. And again, guys, something that I do as well, if it is a firearm that I'm not going to be shooting for a while, I typically will leave them just a little bit wet. Again, we're not going to be putting any oil in this area here. I do not do that. Okay, I'm going to take my barrel, just a drop of oil on the outside of it, run it around just to have a little bit of coating of oil on it, and that way it's not going in dry. Okay, just a little added protection. Slide it back into the slide, just like so. And now I'm ready for my guide rod and recoil spring. Okay, I'm going to insert it back into the slide. Pay attention where it's going to catch on your barrel. Okay, if you do not put it back in the right position, it's not going to work properly. Again, I'm going to push it forward, make sure that the barrel is in the locked position, basically. You know, you don't want to have it forward, you want to have it to where that barrel would be in the locked position. You know, you can see there if it's slightly down, it doesn't need to be that way. It needs to be fully engaged there. Okay, rotating it over, taking my hand, my thumb, I'm going to cup the spring and the guide rod. I'm going to push in on the guide rod and then push down and snap it in place just like that. Okay, you can see that it is now back into position. We're now ready to put the slide and frame back together. Okay, make sure that you get it lined up properly and simply slide it all the way back. Take your thumb, press up on that slide lock and hold it into that lock position. I'm now going to flip that back just like so, and we have now reassembled the firearm after cleaning it. But we're not finished. The other thing that we want to do is we want to function test it. Okay, I am going to point it in a safe direction. I'm going to press and hold that trigger. Okay, we heard the click. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cycle that action, and I'm going to release, listening for the reset. And now we have got our firearm back together, and it is clean and ready to go. Okay, the 365 XL, great firearm. I really like this gun. I'm really glad that I have it. I did not put an optic on this. Now, I could have bought this gun with an optic. You know, I had both of them just right there. I had the one with the optic and one without. I guess I'm a little old school. I prefer iron sights on defensive pistols. That's just me, okay? It's your choice. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. But guys, thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. I hope it's helpful to you. If you have any questions, leave those down in the description below. I will also put some links to some gear down there, some holsters and things like that. If you have a 365 XL, also links to some cleaning supplies and things like that. But guys, thanks for watching. Check out the rest of the videos on my channel, and we will see you next time.